All right, welcome everyone. Now, in our previous lectures, we've laid the groundwork for annuities, right? We've talked about the formulas, present value, future value. But today, we're taking a significant step forward. We're moving from the textbook theory to the boardroom reality. We're going to explore how major corporations wield annuities, not just as a financial product, but as a critical strategic tool to manage, well, billions of dollars. So let's get into it.
So I want you to put on your CFO hat for a moment. Imagine you're running the finances for a Fortune 500 company. And there it is, on your balance sheet, a $100 million corporate bond that comes due in 15 years. Now, make no mistake, that is not just some abstract number for a future report. For a company that isn't prepared, that's a financial time bomb just ticking away, waiting to potentially detonate and wreak havoc on your operations. So, the question is, how do you prepare? How do you diffuse this situation?
And the answer, perhaps surprisingly, lies in a concept we're already familiar with, the annuity. But I really need you to set aside the common idea of an annuity as just a simple retirement plan. Because in the world of high finance, an annuity is a strategic weapon. It's the engine that allows a company to take a massive, daunting future liability and methodically break it down into a manageable, structured plan. This is financial strategy in action.
And it all comes down to these two incredibly important words: disciplined and predictable. You know, the greatest enemy of any long-term corporate plan is uncertainty and human nature. The temptation to divert funds to a short-term project is always there. An annuity removes that temptation. It creates a contractual obligation, a forced discipline, that ensures the money is set aside. It takes hope and guesswork off the table and replaces them with mathematical certainty.
Okay, so let's get into our first major application. It's a powerful concept known as a sinking fund. And the name itself is pretty descriptive, isn't it? The entire purpose is to create a fund that will sink, or pay off, a large debt well before it has any chance of sinking the company. Let's really break down how this is structured.
The formal definition here is key. It's a reserve created by setting aside profits periodically. This isn't about waiting until year 14 and then scrambling to find $100 million. No. It's about starting today, this quarter, and making small, regular, manageable payments over a long period. This is the fundamental difference between being a reactive financial firefighter and a proactive financial architect. You're building for the future, not just putting out fires.
Let's look at the anatomy of this thing. The purpose is very specific: to tackle a single, large future liability. The method we use is making those periodic payments into an annuity. But the mechanism, now this is where the real power comes from. It's not just a savings plan. The annuity leverages the incredible force of compound interest, so your money is actively working for you, generating its own returns. And just as importantly, it signals to investors and rating agencies that your company is financially prudent. You have a disciplined, concrete plan, and that builds enormous confidence.
So let's role play for a second. Imagine you're the CFO in that board meeting. You'd say something just like this. You're not presenting a problem, you're presenting a solution. You're showing foresight. You're telling the board, look, I see this massive expense on the horizon, but don't worry, I have a plan. By setting up a sinking fund, you take what could be a future moment of sheer panic and you transform it into a boring, predictable, manageable line item in today's budget. And trust me, in finance, boring is beautiful. Now, I want to highlight a very common mistake, and please pay close attention to this because it's something I often see on exams. Students sometimes think of a sinking fund as, well, just a glorified savings account. This is fundamentally wrong. A regular savings account is liquid and accessible, and when a quarterly target is missed or an unexpected expense pops up, guess what money gets rated first? That money you earmarked for the future. An annuity, on the other hand, builds a contractual wall around those funds, protecting your long-term strategy from short-term pressures.
All right, so we've seen how annuities are a fantastic tool for accumulating money, for saving up to meet a future liability. But what if the goal is the exact opposite? What if the goal is to pay out money consistently over a long period of time? Well, that brings us to our second major application, trust and pension funds. In this case, the annuities function is completely flipped on its head. It's no longer an accumulation vehicle, it's a distribution engine. Think of it as a financial dam. A company has this large reservoir of capital, and the annuity is the carefully engineered system of spillways that releases a steady, predictable stream of water, or in this case, income, to the beneficiaries who are depending on it, year after year, decade after decade.
A corporate pension plan is the perfect case study. A company makes a promise to its employees, a promise of a secure retirement. But how do you guarantee that promise against decades of stock market volatility?
The solution is often to use a portion of the pension assets to purchase a structured annuity. This essentially transfers the risk of market ups and downs to an insurance company, which in turn guarantees that steady payment to the retiree. It's where the cold, hard math of finance meets a deeply important ethical obligation.
So let's boil it down to its simplest form. A sinking fund is all about saving up. It's like you're building a financial war chest, piece by piece, to prepare for one specific battle in the future.
A trust or pension fund, on the other hand, is all about paying out. You've already got the war chest, and now your job is to use it to pay your soldiers reliably over a very long campaign.
This table is a fantastic summary, by the way. Definitely something for your notes. It lays out the differences so clearly. Look at the primary goal. One is accumulation, the other is distribution. Look at the direction of the cash flow. For a sinking fund, money flows in. For a trust fund, money flows out. And the target is different too. One is for a single massive expense down the road, while the other is for multiple, regular payments to many people. Understanding this distinction is absolutely crucial.
So, let's zoom out. What's the big picture lesson here for all of you as you prepare to be business leaders? It's really about a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about looking at a future liability not as a problem to be feared, but as a variable that can be managed with a smart strategy.
And this right here is the heart of the matter. No one has a crystal ball. Strategic financial planning isn't about trying to predict the future. It's about building a robust system that can withstand the future, whatever it may bring. Tools like sinking funds and annuity-backed trusts give you the power to neutralize future threats today, allowing you to control your company's financial destiny.
So, as you move forward from this class and into your careers, I want you to carry this question with you. Always be scanning the horizon. What is the biggest risk, the biggest liability you see coming? And more importantly, how can you use the power of disciplined, mathematical planning to transform that risk into a well-executed plan? The future is coming. What will you build to prepare for it?